summer journalism program, and I'm here today with John Wigfall, and we're just gonna talk about the Trenton Thunder game with the Binghamton Mets. So, how did you think about the outcome last night of the game?
I thought that the Thunder could have done a lot better earlier in the game. However, their pitcher, as well as the Mets pitcher, did a good job because there was no score until top of the fourth, top of the fifth by the Mets.
Okay, so you feel that Andrew Carson did a really good job pitching in terms of keeping the keeping the Thunders oppressed and not being able to score. All right, so how do you feel about the fact that the Trenton Thunders came up in the sixth inning, the top of the seventh inning, and winning the game in general? How do you feel about that? Surprised?
Well, they definitely needed it. They needed it. I'm sure it's just as well as the fans thought that the game was over and the Mets was going to win. So, just like their coach said, they definitely need it.
Yeah, Coach Tony Franklin has been coaching for about 15 years, right?
Yes.
That sounds about right? Okay. All right, so at the top of the fourth, the Mets scored their first they got placed on the scoreboard. Then after that, in the top of the fifth inning, they scored three runs. So how did you envision that? Like, how did you react when you saw that? Did you see like the game was over? Because it was basically 4-0, and it looked like the Thunders were going nowhere.
Well, since I was neutral in the game, it was kind of exciting to see someone score to begin with, and it did seem like the game was over, and it was kind of a turning point in the game. However, it really wasn't, because the Thunder came back and actually scored 7 in the seventh inning. So.
Wow, nice. Okay, so what about when in the seventh inning when they played a 2-home runner and got 2 people home safe? How did you react? I know the crowd was the crowd yesterday was a little, they weren't so much as alive as they should have been. But I mean, in your perspective, seeing from the crowd, how did you feel like the crowd reacted? Did it react to moderate, to like not anticipate? There was like no enthusiasm. How did you feel about the energy of the crowd in total?
There was definitely a shift in energy from the first 6 innings to the 7th when the Thunder scored. Nothing but excitement, people standing up, cheering. There was hope. There was hope.
There was hope. Like Obama. Okay. So towards the ending of the game, it seemed as if the Mets were out of it. Did you ever have any thought that the Mets would actually come back? I mean, come up from where they were losing after the 7th inning in the top of the 8th?
I think that the momentum changed so much that I don't even believe the Mets expected the Thunder to come back themselves. Maybe they got a little too relaxed. But definitely it's just the Thunder came back. The Mets didn't really seem to have a retaliation. I'm pretty sure the 8th inning, no one scored, so it just stayed 7-4. That was that.
So what do you mean by too relaxed? As if they didn't put enough energy, or in terms of did the pitcher not do his job correctly? Did the outer fields not act the way they should have? What do you mean exactly by?
Well, the Mets switched their pitcher about 3, maybe even more times during the game, trying to find that right pitcher and trying to pretty much keep the Thunder score down. But they didn't do too much of a good job at that. Could have done a lot better. The Thunder took advantage of that and came back.
Okay, I believe correct me if I'm wrong, the bat actually split in 2 when he hit the ball. Tell me how did you react to that when you saw the bat actually literally split in 2 after hitting a ball?
Well, I mean, it showed that he was a hard hitter, but I mean there was a couple I guess you could say semi-bizarre moments. Balloon coming in almost landing on the field. I mean, hey, it was a couple moments like that.
What about the music? The music that they were playing in general. I mean, the music kind of sounded a little, in your terms, how did you think it sounded? Like they played Cotton Island Joe. They had everyone in the crowd getting up dancing. They had Electric Slide for some moments, Cha Cha Slide. How did you
If nothing else kept the crowd excited, it was the music. For me, I thought the most ironic song they played was "It's Raining Men," since the team is called the Thunder. So.
Wow, that is ironic. Okay. I believe you got an interview with. You got to sit into an interview with actually with the eight at the press conference, correct? Where it was taking place. What were some of your notes? What did you hear? What about when the seventh inning when they were winning? How did the coach react to that? Did you hear any statements that he said? Anything specific?
Well, Coach Franklin he stated that you're gonna have your bad moments in the games, but maybe certain players are gonna have a better day another day.
Okay.
But basically he said the team has one goal: go to the playoffs, win a championship. He takes great pride. Been doing it for 15 years. So
that is a major achievement. 15 years. How do you feel now that the Trenton Thunders are now actually first in the Eastern League?
I feel like they deserve it. Best standing right now. They definitely earned it.
They earned the position. Do you think after tonight's game that gave you? Was this your first game or was this your This is your first sitting-in game of the Trenton Thunders?
Yes, first minor league baseball.
First minor league baseball game. All right, so how did that change your perspective on baseball in general? Have you ever sat into a game of baseball before?
Yes, back home I've watched the Phillies, but I think so often that people don't take the minor league seriously, and it pretty much showed last night that they take it seriously, and that's what matters.
Well, thank you so much, John. It was a great